We rolling?
We're rolling.
We're rolling. Wow, we have an audience.
We have a big audience.
Of one person outside.
We are back.
I'm Fauzia, and this is my friend Dhruv.
Yes, it's been a long time since I've seen you. since episode 10 of season 1. So it's been good to get back to the booth and kind of talk about a few things earlier than expected, but we thought it would be time to give our fans or fan what they want in terms of some content in the new year of 2026. As the world things are happening, we thought we can be the stabilizing force.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and you can add us to the list too. So.
Oh my God, did not expect that. I've honestly been waiting for this day because even though this realm is new and exciting, we were just quite busy to be recording a podcast, but we're back. So we are excited to be talking about controversial topics and topics that you want to learn and listen to. And I don't know about the learn aspect, but learn our perspective perhaps.
Maybe it's like hot takes.
We'll shout out to Bella Vista Hotel, Hill Studio podcast for giving us their space to record in our temporary space before we get our official space.
True, but we'll always be grateful for the support that will be given to us alongside our journey.
What are we talking about?
We are talking about myths or realities. We're talking about debunking myths on various different topics. And when we say debunking, we're not necessarily debunking them.
We're just talking about them.
Just talking about
just
them.
Our view.
Giving a bit of perspective. So we've got a few domains.
Yeah.
We've got myths in relationships,
lifestyle, finance, wedding planning, friendships, the main kind of categories. And we've tried to adapt these myths to what we've been hearing amongst friends, family, social media. So I thought maybe we'll just dive right in.
Of course, and we're trialing the use of other technology. There's a lot of technology going on this episode, so we have a little wheel to decide our topics.
Exciting.
We don't actually know what we're talking about until the wheel spins. So if we're doing this right and you're watching us on video, the wheel should be on screen. If not, I sincerely apologize. Take us for our word. There is a wheel spinning.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready to spin the wheel?
Absolutely.
All right.
So pretty much how it's going to go, we've put in all of our myths for each of the categories that we mentioned in the wheel, and we wanted to switch things up, a randomization kind of selection happening.
It's more fun, everyone talks about AI these days and like the computer doing things, and we just like wanted to lean into computer deciding.
I was very close to getting one of those actual wheels that you ride on and you spin it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be nice to bring that. Maybe in a future episode, we have a Patreon, maybe if you can donate to that, and we can buy a wheel if you want us to spin a wheel, like the Wheel of Fortune.
That wheel really is spinning.
Price is right now. It's the wrong game show.
What's the selection, my queen?
Okay, let's go. It's spinning, and it's spinning. Maybe we can insert like a spin noise in the background. Okay, it has landed into. Ooh, this is a good starting topic. Side hustles are the only way to get ahead.
Interesting.
Is this myth or reality? Are you debunking this? Or are you confirming this?
Oh, that's a very definitive answer you're trying to imply for me to provide.
I know.
I don't know. I actually don't know how to answer this because obviously we live in an expensive economy, so side hustles are kind of the new thing at the moment. But I think it's not like you have to have a side hustle. It's only if you want to.
Do you think people will otherwise struggle to earn enough money to live without a side hustle?
Well, no, I don't think side hustles aren't the only. They're not necessarily the predominant way to get ahead. I think that the reality that we live in is that this economy is expensive and that you must have a side hustle to further your finances and afford the travel that you want. But I personally think that you can get ahead in many ways that suit you. It also depends on what you mean by get ahead. Like, are we talking about financially, emotionally? You know, now we start asking the real
It's
questions.
a real philosophical question. Let's assume get ahead as in if you could score your life from 0 to 10, get a side hustle will up that score in your life.
I mean, I think side hustles bring passion, but in terms of them getting you ahead, I'm going to say, here's my final answer. It depends on your purpose. If you want a monetary value out of it to get ahead, sure. But I am going to go from the emotional perspective, and filming podcast episodes, for example, makes me feel like I'm moving. You know, it's a little bit of a passion. It's a very vague kind of myth, but it is a finance myth that we listed under.
So are you debunking the myth? Or are you affirming the myth?
What do you think, Drew? What are your thoughts? We've got to go through the tree of thoughts before we get to an allegedly certain answer.
Well, we'll try and be as certain or vague as we can, but side hustle
Get vague. Gah.
I am notoriously vague. But side hustles, if you look at them from a financial perspective, you can certainly see why people want to do them to try and get ahead, because it's, as they say, a second stream of revenue. You have your main job and you have your side hustle. And the idea is that you don't earn enough in your main job, so you have to pivot to your side hustle. And I think there is perhaps some truth in that you can get ahead with a side hustle. But I think it can be also a bit misleading to say that side hustles are the only way to get ahead. I think there are, in a lot of careers, a lot of industries, there are certainly things you can do within them that you can spend the time that you are spending on a side hustle to reinvest it back into your own career. And I would say you might have a better chance of maximizing your money. So if you have a white collar job, for example, you work in an office environment, yes, you could start a side hustle of recording a podcast, for example. But, you know, the chances of succeeding that, if you rely on this to be a revenue stream, it's not very high. I mean, it certainly could happen, but it's not something that will necessarily guarantee you getting ahead.
I agree. I don't think it's the only way to get ahead.
Yeah. So what is it?
I think it's like different. There's different things out there, but it doesn't guarantee that you will also be successful from a financial perspective if we were to speak from it from that perspective.
Exactly. And let's just say, instead of doing that podcast or, you know, running your own virtual store or whatever side hustle you might do, coaching, so to speak, what if you instead of spending that 10, 20 hours a week or however long you're spending on that, instead, what if you spent that into reinvesting in your career, maybe getting a new certification, upskilling and whatever will get you ahead in your your day-to-day job. Maybe that is perhaps more guaranteed. Guaranteed is also the wrong word, but it's more likely to earn additional income for you, and you can get ahead that way. So I don't think that side hustles are the only way to get ahead, and nor do I think they're necessary. I think there are other avenues to certainly get ahead, and I'm not even talking about like the investing.
I think from like a broader perspective though, like if you started your own side hustle, and whether you're earning revenue or not from it, I would say compared to maybe from a subjective point of view, you might be slightly ahead of some persons in your network who may not be kind of doing these things. But then it asks the broader question if they want to do it anyway, or if they are in a career, for example, that they are earning enough that a side hustle isn't really a question, or they just are okay with not having a side hustle.
Yeah, you don't have to have a side hustle. You can enjoy your life without one. I mean, it's all up to you and what your circumstances are, but you shouldn't do it for the sake of doing it. You should actually have, want to earn money from something, and wanting to bear the risk that you're turning a hobby into something that is not a hobby, it's your job, and that's always a bit risky in itself.
I do feel like kind of mapping the tree out, if we were to, so to say, debunk a myth, like I said, not everything's black and white. Basically, we're saying that we're disagreeing that they're not the only way to get ahead. They're certainly one of the ways that you can, but it's not only.
Yes, and I think that the myth is really that you need a side hustle. That is not true. I think a lot of people can do just fine without one. And I think, like we said, there are other things you can do with your time that can help you get ahead, so to speak, if that's what you're really looking forward to. But yes, it certainly does not have to be a side hustle. So I think
I agree.
Have we debunked that myth?
I think we have. Let's move on to the next.
Okay.
Interesting. I feel like you're never going to get a yes or no specifically or definitively.
All right, we're back.
I'm going to buy you a personalized one of those movie
Please
things.
do. I wouldn't mind. I think it'll add to the vibe of the place and well with the background.
All right. Well, you've lost the wheel.
I've lost the wheel. The technology's failed me, so looks like we're gonna pivot to pen and paper.
The next can go down the myths.
No. I've failed with the tech. I think you can go with the spinning the wheel.
All right.
Maybe you can just do up and down on the paper like blindfolded or something.
I have bad memory. Good thing you've got good memory, so you can remind me of the ones that we haven't done.
Maybe
starting from the bottom.
Yeah.
Not all friendships are meant to grow with you. Some are meant to teach you.
Ooh.
Spicy.
As in teach you life lessons? What do you?
I suppose.
I guess that's right. You know, you're not supposed to be friends with people forever. I think.
Dang.
Sometimes your life can grow in different ways, and I think that's fine and normal. I mean, obviously you want to be friends with your friends forever, but life can happen, interests can change, people can grow, and I guess it can be sad, you know, if people are no longer as compatible as they were in the past. And I guess where I'm maybe struggling is, I guess that can teach you something about yourself and what you value in friends. I mean, I think that's normal. I mean, how many, are you still friends with your primary school friends?
Probably just like one.
Yeah.
But I never really fully understood the concept of when you get older, you will grow apart from some certain friends. And in my mind, I thought I want to do my best to maintain friendships, but sometimes you kind of know or have that gut instinct that we're still friends, but we may not see each other. And, you know, there may be respect for each other. But I think that in this chapter and in this current moment of my life, I have not only matured, but I'm onto a new stone. I'm stepping onto a new stone, and there are new people that I'm meeting that better adapt to my circumstances, so to say. So I think maybe in that chapter of life, those individuals were pivotal at that moment. But life happens, so do you.
You say so do you?
So do you. You do life. You do you, boo.
That's true. So I think we're affirming the myth.
Yeah, I think we are,
So it's not a myth, it's realities. I think that's what we're saying. Okay, wow.
All right.
Do you want to start from the top this time?
You throw me one. I'll go from the bottom. You go from the top.
How about if the honeymoon period is over, so is the relationship?
Oh, damn.
Do you have any thoughts?
If the honeymoon is over, so is the relationship.
The honeymoon period.
The honeymoon period. Well, I don't think so. The relationship certainly isn't over. It's just that you have to accept the reality that not everything is going to be rainbows and glitter. Like, I feel like the honeymoon period of a relationship is very much, you know, you're so innocent and loving and all that Gucci woochie stuff, but it's not always going to be like that. You'll still have love for each other, but not in the way that you first kindled to begin with, at least the first 3 months of your relationship.
I agree with that. I think things have developed and evolved over time. I think it's a bit unrealistic to expect the honeymoon period to last forever. I mean, do you think it's kind of because we watch all these movies and love stories? It's like, it always feels like everything's a honeymoon period. Do you think
But I also kind of feel like people are making comparisons to other relationships. You know what I mean? I feel like we've been in kind of situations where there's been a person or a couple who have been in a relationship for 11 years. And we were at our 2-year relationship. So I would say 2 years was still a bit of a honeymoon for us personally, if you compare it to currently where we're at. But people would be, oh, so-and-so does this for her. But it's a different kind of period. And I still think that you can maintain aspects of that honeymoon, but certainly not backtracking to the uni days. The fashion was atrocious.
True. So it wasn't really a honeymoon then. It was like a pilgrimage.
Trial and error.
I don't know why.
A pilgrimage.
I just wanted to...
Insert the repetition.
It was a word that doesn't mean anything in this context.
The honeymoon period is so cute though. Like it's so interesting how like when a guy asks you out, I say it as if I've got experience when you ask me out. When you asked me, I'm so nervous around you. See, I'm still in my honeymoon period. I feel like you're still trying to understand that person as well, compared to like you can't automatically be like, oh my God, I love you so much. Like,
why can't you?
This is going to come across as like wrong, but I genuinely feel as though like you're easing into a relationship from a friendship. Like you're not going straight into this guy asked me out. We're going to deep dive straight into relationships. I mean, a relationship with each other. Like at that point, you're kind of doing that transition period from friendship to relationship. And obviously what I mean by that is, you know, your terminology and like communication style to each other kind of changes. Obviously there's aspects of maybe it's certainly a bit more intimate perhaps than a friendship. So I don't know.
Do you think it maybe depends on like how you met someone? Because like,
yeah,
you know, we met in person, but let's say you met through like one of the dating apps, you might not have that friendship to start with.
Yeah.
So is that a bit more tricky because maybe they don't have that base? So, you know, once the honeymoon period is over, so to speak.
Yeah.
What do they have to fall back on?
Yeah. It's interesting because I think we had context coming into ours of each other.
Yes, context. So I think we've dismissed the myth. Debunked it, sorry. That's
I think we debunked it.
Debunked it. Kind of. As well as we could in our limited time. I'll let you go next.
All right. Well, I'm going to throw it over to you. Is budgeting key? And I kind of am interested to hear your answer now that you're 30. You've gone through the 20s. Give us a little spiel.
Budgeting is key to an extent, but it is not everything. I think as long as you're sensible enough in terms of knowing where your money is generally going and that you're saving enough to pay your essentials or to save for your essentials, whatever that is. I think as long as you're doing that, you're probably in a good position. I don't think you have to necessarily have a very complicated Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, I was just about to say that. I'm like, you don't need to have pie charts going on.
I mean, you know, some people really love that stuff and, you know, more power to you. Yeah, but I don't think everyone strictly needs it. I think, like, obviously if you're into it, you're into it. But I think if you can do enough to just say that, you know, I'm going to save X% of my income on this, I'm going to maybe split it up into different buckets of like, you know, I'm going to 30% of my income I can spend on whatever I want. You know, if you say something like that and the rest I'm going to save. I mean, you know, that's a very rudimentary budget. Rudimentary, yes. And that might be the case, but it's still a budget. And you're saying that I'm not going to guilt myself for spending my 30% on whatever I want to spend it on, whether that's, you know, really nice podcast setup or whether that's, you know, a really nice
zebra background
or plushie. You know, you don't have to worry about that because you've kind of said, this is money I can spend for whatever I want.
If it works for you, it works for you.
That's right. As long as I'm saving, you know, 70% of my income, you know, saving's the wrong word necessarily, but, you know, spending that on your bills and whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, as long as that's itself as a budget. Yeah. You're kind of allocating your funds into different buckets. So yeah, I think budgeting is important and key, but it's perhaps not the budgeting as people would ordinarily think of budgeting, which is that
I think so.
Going line by line items. I think that's more like stressful.
Bring out the paper checks. But I absolutely agree with that. I think that the word budgeting and the act of doing it differs. Like theoretically, if you search up budgeting on YouTube, for example, like you will have so many people telling you so many different methods, throwing you different Notion templates. But I think at the end of the day, you know, it really is dependent upon your individual circumstance. And I think like wedding planning, for example, I kind of felt the innate pressure to have a complicated spreadsheet with formulas. But what we have right now is So simple. And that's working.
Simply simple.
So simple. Speaking of which, a bigger wedding is better. Are we skipping this one?
No, we can talk about a bigger wedding is better. Yeah, there's pros and cons, I'd say, to a bigger wedding. It can be better in ways, it can be worse in ways. That's my answer.
Absolutely. Let's leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
We'll do a wedding episode in a few months, so maybe you'll get a somewhat of a certain answer.
All right, I can pick the next one, which
Yay.
is...
This is kind of like, waiting for the other person to give you coordinates in like Battleship.
How about this one? A good friend always agrees with you.
No. Hell no.
Okay, that's it.
And I'm very strong about that because
We're good friends. You just disagreed with me just then.
No, you're my friend, but like you're my partner. We're talking about second circle individuals.
Second circle
You're
individuals.
my primary.
Wow, what a love story.
I know, right? I'm trying to get back to the honeymoon stage. Well, I think that if you have friends who, like, it's good and bad in its own ways, but you should also have friends who bring you different perspectives to something or a different situation. Not too long ago, me and my friends, we met up, we had dinner, and we were just pretty much just talking through pros and cons of like a particular date and how they feel. And I think that if you're always agreeing to your friend, you're not really kind of considering other perspectives and perhaps even being preventative to any risks that they would fall into. So I feel like a good friend should always watch out for another friend. And even if that means voicing a controversial but a respectable opinion.
Yeah, that sounds right to me as well. I think you have to have a nice level of honesty.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, you've got to, be kind, but but like if you really feel strongly about someone maybe going down the wrong path for them, I think it's good to kind of bring that up as well.
Yeah, I agree. In saying that though, how many more did you want to do with myths? Maybe three more?
I was like, we only have a few minutes, maybe one or two.
Okay.
See how we can do one more and then go from there if we have time to do another one.
Yeah, we can always do some shorts, Drew. Look at us, very savvy. If you're off social media, you're offline.
I think that's fairly true. I think I'm not really on it and I am very offline.
And that's fine.
It's hard to, you're not as up to date with everyone because you're off it. So I think that's true.
I mean, I think social media has its pros and cons. You just have to do your due diligence if you hear about a certain news, and also comes down to your behavior around using social media and how much you use it. But Drew basically is on social media through me.
Yeah. So maybe you're right. Maybe I am on it and that's how I'm online a bit through you.
Yeah.
It's a bit different.
So I suppose maybe would you say you're slightly kind of under the rock if you're off social media? I feel like a lot of things tend to happen on social media.
True. I wouldn't have no idea about Punch the Monkey without you. So
it's essential to know.
Essential. Very essential to know. I think we do have time for maybe one more.
Yeah.
Do you want to choose? Oh, I think you chose the last one. You know what you want.
I was looking at that one. Crazy. Oh, this is from a relationships perspective. I'm going to say I disagree with this one. I agree in the sense that maybe you have a criteria in your mind, but again, that's theoretical. I've heard a lot of kind of experiences and refer back to our no fish in the sea.
Wow, cross-reference.
Yeah. But I think I've just seen it too many times that from my friends that they have a certain criteria, but it's different in practice. I think having a criteria is good, but if it's overly critical, that's when it gets challenging.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think people may be able to compromise a bit more than they initially think they can. Maybe something is not as serious or as important as you might have first thought. So compromising is not the end of the world, and there are other positive traits that you can value that are more important and mean more. So
Yeah.
just noting the time, just thinking if we should start to wrap this one up.
I thought you were going to say like one more. But I think we can absolutely, I think we can squeeze this one in because I think it'll literally be a quick answer. Drew, you need 8 hours of sleep to function.
Absolutely.
100%. There's no doubt about that. Well, thank you for listening to our first episode back of Simply Simple. A little bit of a rusty kind of gear to turn.
Yeah, I can feel myself dying in here with all the rust that's being...
the rust and the dust. But yeah, we're excited to film more episodes. And we're excited for our setup as well, work in progress, and really just excited to talk about different categories. You know, I kind of feel like what we've mapped out today has each category deserves its own episode.
Very bold, but I think I agree with that.
Minus some categories, maybe.
True. All right, we will call it a day. Hope you... I don't know when we're uploading this, but...
I also don't know how we would finish off these podcasts. Would we cackle?
I think we'll just like riff a bit. And then
We'll riff a bit.
Yeah, it'll just end after that. So.
Oh, I like your top. It's cute.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yes.
Fashionista.
We gotta dress up for this because of YouTube engagement.
Oh, you guys, you wouldn't want to see my eye bags under this makeup. Ooh.
Okay, time to zoom in. Editing.
No, don't do that. You probably already have. That's fun. It's been a while.
Been a while, so thank you for joining.
Cute.
We hope to see you again or to see
our 2 followers.
Yeah, we'll definitely see you again. But yeah, if you like this, just let us know. Hope you found this fun.
Long outro.
Okay, we're boring everyone. We're gonna head. Catch you all later.
Did we
Bye.
actually end like this in the last few episodes? We just riff raff.
Well, I just said bye. So it's already over.
Oh, bye.